Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning. Dude. What? What? Oh, what's happening? Oh, Toriko. Toriko. Fuck. Like, when I was listening, no, when I was reading what Coco was saying, I'm like, wait, pause. What? I'm just sitting here like, wait, hold on, wait a second, Coco, hold on, you're speaking crazy shit right now, man. A mineral was blasted into the core of the original planet Earth. So apparently the planet was just like planet Earth. And it was the size of the center of the human world. So like our planet Earth. But apparently a mineral got blasted down into the core. Or it got blasted into the planet. It fed off the energy of the mantle and it grew. Then it expanded. It cascaded on, like, I guess the northern pole of the initial planet. Made land masses. And then formed the current planet Toriko. And I'm like, what? And then he's talking about how there are more mysteries in the deep sea than our outer space. I'm like, oh no, don't tell me. I thought we were going on space capades. No. The way it's looking now, we're just going deep, under the sea. Under the sea. And I'm like, wait. What? Like, this is a complete 180 from where I thought the story would go. This is a complete 180. And when I think about the Gourmet Pyramid, I remember it being like significantly deep underground. A civilization. And I'm thinking, oh fuck. So maybe. Shit. I'm like. But what I will say is that the way Coco went about it, about the whole thing with Grimpatch and how he fought against Grimpatch, how his gourmet cells came about. And then, like, his gourmet cells gave Grimpatch a poison directly. Because apparently Grimpatch had this phenomenal immune system where it was like an endless filter. I'm like, dude, of course, he's Grimpatch. He eats what the fuck he wants to. Poison or not, it doesn't matter with this guy. But the thing here is that once the gourmet cells from from Coco directly went to the poison, went directly into Grimpatch's body, all of a sudden he started to like freak out. And he started firing air bazookas everywhere. And at one point in time, he fired, I guess, a bunch of bazookas deep underground, like even further in the ground. And when he went down there, Coco, all of a sudden he ran across like this slab of rock that wouldn't let him pass. Because the rock there was absorbing the energy from his own gourmet cells. And the rock itself has gourmet cells. So technically, most of the planet is an organism. Most of the Toriko planet is literally an organism that can expand and grow, continue. So their world has really it grows. Their planet grows. What the fuck is, this is insane. This is nuts. And apparently, because we found out that, because we know, according to the legends, hold on, wait, pause. This is insane. Like, come on. Like who thinks of this shit? Like, what is this? Oh my goodness, Mitsutoshi. Like, how? Fuck. All right, hold on, wait. No takes. All right. This is nuts. So, the legends of Akashi. The legends of Akashi. We know that he found gourmet cells, and it was from like the squid, according to like the initial legends, from what I remember. But the thing here is that it was deep in the sea. But according to what Coco says, that's probably not the whole story. And then he is like, there's this emphasis on this cavern, this undersea cavern. And so does that mean that like Pangea is like under? Does that mean that Pangea is like in the center of the planet that they're in? Does that mean that God itself is like the core of the planet? Oh no, fuck. That means that they weren't building a mothership. They weren't building no mothership to go into space. They were building a massive drill, like a Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann drill, to go in the planet's core to go meet up with God or whatever, the food utopia. I'm like, there's a food utopia in the planet's. There's a food utopia. So the reason why Coco couldn't really make an image of what the underground area would be like is because of the fact that it's uncalculable. The amount of food is immeasurable. Seriously. And it's just raining meats and cheeses and veggies. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Where have we gotten? What's happening? This is Toriko. Like, Toriko's insane. But apparently, within the center human world, the bedrock that exists there has existed there for billions of years, since the creation of the planet. But the outer rock layers, including the rock layers in the gourmet world, they have resided there for approximately like over 100 million years. So for a much shorter time frame. And at that point in time, the quality of life and the quality of ingredients that exist on the planet exploded. A huge blossom of creatures that had gourmet cells and the quality of food. Fuck! I thought we were going to space. No. And the way, but then again, I don't know. Maybe we still are, because when I think about it, when I think about it even more, the mineral that came down to the planet had to come from somewhere, and that mineral came clearly from space. But now it looks like we're not only going to space, but also like deep in like the planet's core to find out what the fuck is going on there. Why couldn't he pass yet? Apparently, I guess it was the gourmet monster inside Coco saying, you're not qualified yet. Qualified? There's a qualification. You gotta sign a sheet of paper. You gotta have your transcript like, yo, I'm qualified. Let me the fuck in. No, you're not ready, fool. You ain't ready to see this shit. You ain't ready for this food utopia. Meats and cheeses rain down and danishes and shit. What the fuck? What's up with it? Oh. Toriko. This is crazy, man. This is crazy, man. The fucking chocolate cake hailstorms, man. Dude. In the planet's core. What's happening? Like, Fuck. So, when they say God is probably within the planet's core. But I remember they said God and beyond. So, if God's in the planet's core, let's just say that. Let's just assume that God is like the planet's core or somewhere within the planet. Because the way it's shaped, like there's like a cup area that you can actually go to. And I'm pretty sure like that cup area is where like the initial mineral is. That may be God. Because if that's the initial mineral, then it's probably absorbed the most energy from the planet. And since it's technically gourmet cells, that is where the best possible tasting gourmet cells will reside. So that's 100, I think it's like 100 million plus years of this mineral that contains gourmet cells absorbing the planet's energy, growing bigger and bigger and bigger. So the essence of that mineral comprises all the ingredients on the planet, all the flavors on the planet. This is insane. And God and beyond would be to leave the planet and find the origins of the gourmet cells. Nitro, Toriko. God damn, I love this shit. I love it. Mr. Toshi, what goes on here? Prison did you justice, bro. It did you justice. Seriously. Alright. Fuck. I need to buy more volumes Toriko. I'm buying more volumes Toriko. I'm buying like 8 volumes if I can. Sure, I'm not even joking. Okay, so when it comes to the other stuff of the chapter, we find out that Coco, his hair turned white because apparently he just used a lot of poison. Zebra actually makes the deduction that Coco knew that Toriko was going to lose to Stalsh. And Coco, his response to that was, at the time, my fortune telling, my precognition told me that it was best, but he didn't know exactly why. But he just felt he just felt that was the case at that point in time. And even though they're not really technically safe, Komatsu, he's alive. So he's implying that had Komatsu had stayed there, he would have died. Because we do know that Toriko blasted Stalsh out of the stadium, and Komatsu was still in the stadium. Coco was in front of him, and he tell him, go to where Toriko is. And Zebra saying, you knew that he was going to lose. So, that's just crazy. Then apparently, Ichiru's full course, they need to go to like the first biotype, because I thought that they had already gathered Ichiru's full course, but apparently not. I mean, it's weird, but either way, they need to go to the first biotype, because right now, the human world is in complete chaos, because, of course, Midora's fault, obviously, and the thing here is that people are looting and rioting. I mean, the chefs of the world have gathered together to try and give people the food that they need, but at this point in time, it's very hectic, very chaotic. So very similar to the way things were when Frozen and, like back in the day in that flashback with Midora, Ichiryu, Jiro, Frozen, Akasha back in the day. The world was in chaos. And the thing here is that apparently there's this ingredient that Ichiryu has. And apparently he has to bring in all the full courses together. All his full courses need to come together. And then it makes this ingredient that tastes relatively bad, but it's infinite. It can continue to divide itself continuously forever. Almost like Elg in a way. But just more food-esque, obviously. And they're going to use that ingredient to, I suppose, they're going to use that ingredient to at least have people eat something. Some form of sustenance. So they won't die from malnutrition. Fair enough. From starvation. So that was a pretty good plan. That's actually a pretty good plan. I mean, granted, it doesn't taste phenomenal, but you'll be alive nonetheless. And that was Ichiru's backup plan. Of course, we do know that some people like Nonoi and others, they have food elsewhere. And maybe people will go into, because we do know that Tengu Brunchy, he's going over to the the bewilderment. He's going to where he lives, basically. All right, and he's gonna bring some food with the Dharma guys, and help the human world sustain its populace, and that and so on and so forth. And last of the chapter is basically we have Rin, a name that I'm not too fond of, but fuck it, Rin, and she's watching over Toriko because she's very worried about Toriko. And then in comes Jiro. He's in his old man state, and he's carrying a bag. So the main thing here, obviously to me, is this whole aspect of the planet and how the planet once was, what it once was, and how it was originally the size of our planet Earth, and then it grew exponentially after the mineral hit the core, or after the mineral came down the planet. God is probably the core or the initial mineral, and I bet you. But then again, why would that tie into the question here is why the eclipse? Why does this pathway open during the eclipse? That's the question. I mean, maybe there's some kind of gate guardian that's blocking the path. I don't know. And also you need qualifications too. And we do know that I think the qualifications were something along the lines of, because like according to what was said, like one of the latest I'm sorry, according to what was said in one of the previous chapters, it was like you need a chef, you need like certain things in order to go to where God is, to go to where this Pangea may be, to the final land. And of course, the final land we can assume is this food utopia. But then again, when it comes to the ingredients of acacia, how he labeled them, when you exclude the hors d'oeuvre, it spells out Pangea. That's the acronym. So, like, I'm just, it's crazy, man. All right, it's Toriko crazy. This chapter, obviously, that's obvious. Like, you don't. Fuck. All right, but I'm done. King Lightning. Be sure to, of course, rate, comment, and subscribe as always. We need to do some more thinking, all right? We need to try and all the fans of Toriko, we need to try and like open the mind of Mitsutoshi and see what the fuck he's thinking. Seriously, because this is like who thinks of this shit? A mineral, planet's Earth. It grew, it expanded, it opened the planet up and made more land masses. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, seriously. But yeah, for now I want to say that God is probably the initial mineral itself, the initial comet itself when it came down, that had the first gourmet cells on the planet. And then going beyond is literally going outside of the planet to find the origin of the gourmet cells, which I still believe has ties to the nitro. I don't see why not, given the paintings and the murals on the gourmet pyramid. But we'll see how that goes. Like this week's chapter, Toriko, man. Like it's Toriko. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, this guy's a fucking genius. Alright. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Have a nice day. I just realized that's probably the reason why the grand knocking was so impactful. Because technically the planet is just one giant organism. So if you're gonna... So literally he performed knocking temporarily on like the largest organism ever.